Hey, Kevin here with another Flippin' Dork Flips and Finds videos where I show you different items I pick up, either thrifting or garage selling, whatever, and then I sell them either on eBay or locally, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, different places like that. Let me show you some of the items that I had picked up over this past weekend and also ones that have sold. There's some pretty interesting items. So let's see, start over here. Okay, the first three items I don't actually have. I've already sent them out. I just sent them out late Friday night before I could even shoot video. It was all dark and everything. And anyway, I'll just explain and I'll throw some pictures over the screen to show you what I'm talking about. So the first one was a women's brown Nike dry fit jacket, or ACG, which I think is all climate gear, is what it stands for. Anyway, it was a really nice jacket at Goodwill. It was $4.50. I did research. I thought it was worth more than it was, but when I got home and finally listed it, it was not worth quite as much. So I had put it up for $24.95. I mean, this thing was in really nice shape. If it had a tag with it, I would have been convinced it was brand new. I mean, there was no wear whatsoever on this thing. So I had it listed at $24.95, paid $4.50. I eventually got an offer for $19.95, so I decided just to go ahead and take it. So it shipped out, and it was, I don't remember, it ended up being like $6 or $7 to ship out. It was a little more expensive than I thought. So it was not that great of a deal. After it's all said and done, I probably barely made about $10. It was not that good. So again, I've mentioned in other previous videos that nylon jackets are good, but really look for vintage ones that are very sporty looking. They're going to have the spell out of Adidas, Nike, Reebok, whatever. Going to have the logo. These plain Jane kind of classic ones, they could do okay. I mean, if you're just trying to get started and want to make a few bucks here and there, it's okay. But if you're really trying to turn this into a legit business and get really good high-end sales, I'll probably start passing on them from now on. Okay, the next one was a WeatherTech bump step. All right, it's this big hunk of plastic that you stick in a hitch receiver on a truck, and it allows you to step up. It's a little easier to step to the bumper and then into the back of the truck. I found it at Goodwill. It was $10. It was brand new. It also comes with a little receiver hitch pin that you pull in. You know, it's kind of bent. The instructions just recommended using a bolt, but someone had already bought it and never used the thing. And they just donated it. I got it for $10. I looked it up on the completed listings on eBay, and the actual company, WeatherTech, was selling them on there for $68.95 with no pin whatsoever. So it was just the step. So I got mine listed. I decided to go ahead and just put it right up there. I figure if mine is also the same price, $68.95, but mine has a hitch hitch pin with it, someone will want to buy it. I had it up for a while, and I decided to just go ahead and undercut them and try to get rid of it quicker. So I put it at $65.95, and it did sell. And I shipped it off, and it was, man, it went all the way to the other side of the country, so it was pretty expensive. It was like, I think $15 to ship, so I had basically $25 in it, and it sold for $65. So it's still pretty good. I think when it was all said and done, after fees, it was like $38 or $39 they made on it, so that's pretty good. Okay, the third item that I've already shipped off was a vintage Casio calculator. It was the CB100. It was like a checkbook financial calculator. It apparently it would fit in someone's checkbook, and then it had all these functions to figure out. I don't remember what it was. I just found it at Salvation Army. It was 50 cents. It said Casio. It was very classic, very kind of 70s, 80s looking. I knew that it would be a pretty good seller. Not like crazy money, like $100 or anything, but I knew it would be pretty good. So I looked them up, and they were going for like between $15 and almost $20, probably more in that 16 to 18 range. So I decided to list mine at $17.95. It took a little while, probably a little over a month, but it did sell for full price, $17.95. It was so lightweight and easy to ship, but it was very fragile. So I actually put it in, I like sandwiched it between cardboard, and then I put that in a bubble mailer, put "Do Not Bend" all over it. And it shipped out for $2.66. So I had barely over $3 in it, and it sold for just under $18. So it was all said and done. That's a pretty good sale. Not crazy money, but it was so easy to take pictures of, to list, to ship out, that I will continue finding those because they sell really well. So that was the three that I've already shipped out. Of course, I showed you some pictures, so now I can show you ones I have live. Okay. This shirt I showed a few videos back. This is a vintage Levi's cotton shirt, thin. It's gray, beige. Let's see if I can get it in the light here. Gray, beige, pink, and teal. I thought it was kind of cool. It had that kind of vintagey, kind of hipstery look to it, but also a little bit old manish. It's not denim. It's not like a lot of Levi's shirts you see. I mean, look at that tag. That thing is vintage. I don't know how old, probably 80s. But I thought this was pretty cool. It was at Goodwill for $3.50. So I listed it for $22.95, and again, it took probably a little over a month, somewhere between 4 and 5 weeks, and it did sell for full price, $22.95. So when it's all said and done, after shipping, it's very light. I don't think it would be more than $3.50 to ship out. I should make some pretty decent money. It's a pretty good return on a shirt like that. And this one I didn't know if it was actually going to sell or not, so I was very happy when it did. Okay, let me show you this one real quick. This is a Coleman jug. I've showed in a previous video that I've sold Coleman coolers, the big, what they call them, personal 8s. It can fit 8 cans, 8 soda cans or whatever in there. A lot of guys use them for lunch boxes because they're very heavy duty. They don't make them like that anymore, so people really want them. So when I was buying those at yard sales and thrift stores, I also was grabbing these. These are the Coleman jugs. I have a personal jug, maybe they take to a softball game after work or whatever. These are not that good a seller, so I probably won't be picking these up anymore. I will be getting the coolers. I paid 50 cents. I had it listed for 17 or 18, I think $17.50 maybe or so, and I got a best offer for $15. So I decided to go ahead and just take it and be done with it and not buy these anymore. It's going to be expensive to ship. Depending on how far it goes, it might be around 10 bucks. So, I mean, not that good. I'll make a few dollars on it after fees and shipping and all that. So, anyway, it's not too bad. I mean, it does sell. Maybe it would have been a better local sale. If I would have sold it for $10 locally, I would have made more money. But I thought maybe it would go a little quicker on eBay. Okay, this last item is pretty cool. This is very unusual. Okay, I went to my local Habitat for Humanity Restore where they sell, it's like a thrift store, and they also have a lot of house parts from houses they redo. Doors and windows and trim and just all kind of concrete blocks, just anything you can think of. The one here in town is not that good. I mean, they have a lot of that stuff, but the actual thrift store part, everything's overpriced. It's not that good. I went in one day, I don't even remember if I actually bought anything or not, but when I come out, right by the front door, they have a shopping cart and it has a sign that says, free items, please do not bring inside. So you can just take whatever you want. A lot of times it's like plastic cups and broken Frisbees and really chintzy flower arrangements that are all broken, just not very good stuff. But I found this in there and it was dated good enough that I thought I'd try it out. So check it out. This is a Bugs Bunny bandana. It's dated 1993. Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, I mean, it's all legit. Him eating the carrot. Has this guy on there. It says Volume 1, Number 1 with Bangaroos, I think might be the brand that made, or the company that designed it or made it or whatever, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was free. I looked them up, and at the time, and this was a long time ago, probably like 4 or 5 months ago when I first got started, there was one that sold, and it was like 20-something bucks. So I was like, awesome, very, very cool. So I decided to go high. I listed mine at like $29 or $32. I went way up there. And of course it didn't sell. I probably could have held out. Maybe it would have within a year. I didn't want to hold on to it that long, so I dropped the price, dropped the price, dropped the price. Finally got down to 15 bucks. I just kind of set it and forget it. I just never messed with it anymore after that. And every month it would just reload. And it eventually sold. So someone paid me $15 for this. Now this is incredibly light. So this should ship out for less than $3. It was free. So it was a pretty good little sell. I was happy that it actually went because it was more of an experiment than anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that, oh, I forgot one more thing. All right. So that vanity desk, I think I told you in the last video, I picked it up for $40 and someone bought it when they were on an airplane for $80. They were going to come Thursday. They were a no-show that day. I told them, hey, whenever you can come get it, fine. About an hour ago today, Sunday, they actually picked it up. So they prepaid $80, so today they picked it up, so it's finally gone. Okay, the other one is, when was this, Friday, I think it was, the Schwinn jogger stroller I showed in 1 or 2 videos back. I picked it up at Goodwill for $69.99. There was no tax because it's Goodwill, so I just paid 1 penny under $70. Brand new condition, never been used. It was just assembled. They had picked it up from Target and then they brought it in their store and they probably raised the price a little bit. I don't know how much they made, probably like $20, $15, something like that. I looked them up and at Target they were like $199. They were clear. They were on sale at that particular time at like $175. At Walmart they were like $130 to $150. So I decided that the one I had was the one that was from Target. So I put it at $150. Put it locally on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And it took about, I don't know if it had been a week and a half, somewhere around there. A guy on Craigslist said him and his wife were interested. They wanted to know if anything was wrong with it, why I was selling it. I just told them that I had it, didn't need it, and I was going to sell it as brand new, just never ended up being used. And they offered me $120. So I decided to go ahead and take it. So that was a $50 profit on that. Brand new, did absolutely nothing to it except I pumped up the tires and I took pictures. So that was a really good sell. So that's gone. He was very happy with it. He was like more than pleased when he found it, or when he saw it in person. So anyway, that was the sales from the weekend. So now let me show you some really cool finds I picked up. Okay, so I found some interesting finds. The first one was really cool. I was excited, but I was a little bummed out when I brought it home. So it's this right here, this phone, okay? Now, it had tape on it, so there's a lot of sticker residue on there right now. So anyway, this is a Radio Shack Crystal Light Blue Neon phone, okay? Paid $3 at Goodwill. There was no phone cord and no power cord, so there was no way to test it. But for $3, I decided to go ahead and grab it because when I looked them up, these were selling for about 30 bucks, okay? So after I went to Goodwill, I went to Habitat for Humanity Restore, which I mentioned earlier, and I ended up finding what I needed, okay? So they had a phone cable, a black one, still new in the pack, paid $1, which seems high, but hey, they had one. And then I also found this, power AC adapter. This was $1.50. They had a huge, actually 3 huge buckets just full of these. I had to search through them. I didn't exactly know what power size to use. It just says DC 12 volt. That's all it says on there. So what I did is I actually went on the completed listings of eBay and I looked through a couple of them until I found one that had a picture of the original AC cord that went with it. And they showed exactly what it needed, which was a class 2 transformer, the 120 volt input, and the output needed to be 12 volt DC with 500 milliamps or whatever. They had a whole bunch that were 9 volt, 6.5 volt, then there'd be a 12 volt, they had 1,000 milliamps. They were all wrong, and I eventually found one that worked, okay? Or that was the correct size. So I brought it home, I tried it out, I plugged it into a wall, it gets a dial tone, okay? So it works. The problem is that the neon light does not work correctly. So I plugged it in. It has a switch back here where you can turn it on and off. This clear section right here lights up. If you can see, right around underneath the black part right here is actually a neon light. It's white. It lights up blue. When you turn it on, it flickers blue and then it shuts off. Okay, so it's like probably the ballast resistor in it or whatever it is that it doesn't quite want to fire it up. So it almost works, but not quite. So that's a big bummer. I don't think I can get the full 30 bucks out of it. I will list it. I'll probably go ahead and put it at 30 and just put a best offer on there as well and just tell people that, maybe it's something that can be fixed, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe sell it as not working parts only. So we'll see. So that was a little bit of a bummer. They didn't quite work out like I wanted. Okay, so like I said, I went to the Habitat for Humanity Restore to pick these up. I also found this there. I was very happy to see this. And they had this way underpriced. Usually their stuff is way too expensive. This is a Craftsman 18 volt fast charger for a battery, probably for a drill or who knows what. But anyway, it's pretty chunky, so this is a little bit older one. The thing is, it was only $3, which is awesome price, okay? Normally, I've seen them there at that particular store, and they have them listed for $15, $20, which is still a good deal if you want to keep it for yourself, but if you're going to resell it, it's a terrible price. But for $3, they were very undervalued on this. So the way I looked it up, I got on the complete listings on eBay. I typed in Craftsman, and then it happens right here to say charger number, and then it has the 981831 dash blah blah blah. So I typed that in, and these popped up. These are going for now I'm trying to remember. I think it was between 30 and 35 bucks. Okay, now that's with shipping included. It is kind of heavy, so probably about $10 depending on where it goes. But I should more than double my money on this when it's said and done. So I'll probably make about 15 on it, maybe a little more, hopefully. So that's pretty cool. All right. Now this is not an item that maybe could sell for even more money on Amazon. I haven't quite figured that out. I've joined Amazon, but I just haven't quite done it yet. I'm trying to get more familiar with eBay. So I'll probably go ahead and list it at eBay. Hopefully it'll sell really well. Okay. I also found this at Salvation Army that same day. Okay. This is probably the world's most boring piece of office equipment ever, okay? I mean, talk about ugly color, just a weird looking thing here, but this is actually a really good seller, and I found it for an amazing price, okay? Now, I think several videos back I showed you like a mid-century stapler, just a regular, desktop stapler that sold for $16.95. I picked it up for, I think it was 50 cents or something, or $1. It was really cheap. Okay, this piece of equipment right here, this is a Swingline 615 saddle stapler. It also does binding, book binding of some sort. It's something to do with this thing right here. I don't know exactly how that works, but it also has a stapler. Okay, they had it for $2 at Salvation Army. I looked it up, and this should be, again, about 30 to 35 bucks, okay? I think actually 35, maybe even a little more. So I decided to grab it. I thought that was a great deal. But I mean, talk about just under the radar, ugly, who cares what this thing is, but that is a really good flip for something especially so cheap. So they definitely didn't know what they had here. So I thought that was really cool. And it's probably the world's ugliest flip, but I think it's pretty cool. All right, this next one, you've probably been staring at these the entire video. This is really cool. This is the big money maker of the week, okay? So this past week, I went to Advanced Auto Parts, the auto parts store, to get a rear window wiper for my wife's car. The little blade fell off, so I went to go pick one up. It was like, I don't know, $12 or $13, something like that. So I found one that worked. Went to pay for it, and as I was standing there at the register and they were ringing it up, I just had to look behind me, and they had this shelf there, and it was all clearance items, okay? So a lot of it was little doodads for the car and air fresheners, just junk like that I didn't want to mess with. And then I saw all these books, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, those are on clearance. And I look at the price. Whoa, $2.85? Are you kidding me? Look at it. It says was $29.95. Now I have sold car manuals before. These are, each one is for a specific car. This one is for the Toyota Matrix and Pontiac Vibe. This one is for Dodge and Plymouth Neon from 1995 through 99. This one is for the Audi A4, the 2002 through 2008. So every car has its own book that you can buy, and if you want to do repairs or find, troubleshoot something, you can look through these. They were about $30 new at the store, okay? So that day, what I did is I took my phone, I snapped a picture, almost like this, so I could read them all, and then I come home, and I looked them up on eBay, and I was going through and figuring out prices, and this is totally worth it. So the next day I went back and I bought all of them. So some of them, as you can see, are brand new sealed. This is how they would have come, okay? Totally sealed, so this one is new. But then this one, it never sold, but as you can see, it's not sealed. So I think on eBay it can still be considered new, but if I were to put these on Amazon, I think this one would be new, this one would be used. I compared prices. I've had people that were telling me to go ahead and throw them on Amazon, which, like I said, I'm not really familiar with that yet. But I don't think the prices were better. I think even with me taking the time to ship them out, myself, each individual one, I think I might actually make more money on eBay selling them, because they would be considered medium mail, so it'd be very cheap, probably around $3 to ship out each. And again, they were $2.85. So what I did is I said, hey, if I bought all of those books, could you do a better deal? And he's like, oh, I'm always willing to do a better deal. So I found the perfect guy to work out this deal. So he went through the computer system, and he somehow found a way to get 29 cents off each book. So instead of $2.85, I paid $2.56 each. Okay. He also said if you sign up your email at here, and he said, and then he had me do it. He said you'll get $5 free in store to spend on whatever you want. So I went ahead and did that. Got the email, opened it up, and now next time I go to buy anything, I get $5 off. So that's a pretty good deal. So with tax, they ended up being $2.76 each. There's 14 of them. You could probably do the math, but I believe I spent $38.61 on all of them. Now here's the cool part. Okay, they were brand new back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, whenever they were. They would have been $29. Now they're outdated. A bunch of these are discontinued. They don't make them anymore. So they are not worth that quite as much anymore, but they're still worth good money. One of them in here was worth almost $40. So, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I don't remember, but one of them, when I looked it up, was worth almost 40 bucks. Some of them are worth about 10. A lot of them are like in that 15 to 20 range. So I believe in total that this is at least $150 worth of books. Okay. Now I did spend 38, and then there's going to be some shipping and fees, so probably about 100 bucks. But I think I could probably get more than that. It might be more closer to $200, especially if I price them right and just hold out till the right person buys them. And we'll just see how it goes. So that it will be a decent amount of work. The pictures will be easy, but to then ship them out, I'm probably going to sandwich them between cardboard and then put them in a poly mailer and send them out. So it'll be a little bit of work. I'm still considering doing the Amazon, but I don't think Amazon would make more money. Like one book that sells for $18.95 on eBay. You know, of course, I'm gonna have to deduct the $2.56 and the shipping, probably another $3. So we got about $5.50. That brings us down to like 13 something. Like that same book on Amazon would yield me like $11. So you know, I don't know. You know, I might make $2 more to ship them out myself in a way that I'm more comfortable with. So I don't know. We'll see. But I thought that was just a really, really cool find. So I'm gonna start kind of thinking outside the box of other stores. This is, you know, more of a retail arbitrage type flip, but I think that would be really cool. So anyway, if you like these types of items, these types of flips, go ahead and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. It'd be really cool if you could hit that thumbs up. That helps the video get seen by more people. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that to check out and keep up with more of these videos. So thanks again for checking it out.